What would happen if you fell into Saturn? You would instantly find yourself experiencing a sensation of intense, accelerating downward movement as you plunged rapidly into the swirling, gaseous depths of the ringed planet, a truly remarkable and fundamentally unsettling experience to contemplate, given the sheer scale of the celestial body. The initial impact would likely be far less violent than one might instinctively imagine, considering the immense pressure and turbulent nature of Saturn's atmosphere, and instead you'd probably encounter a surprisingly gentle, almost cushioning effect, much like a slow-motion descent through extremely dense, rapidly moving water. Imagine trying to describe the feeling of being enveloped by a colossal, ever-shifting cloud of hydrogen and helium, a breathtaking yet profoundly disorienting environment where the very notion of down and up would become utterly meaningless concepts, and the visual experience would be dominated by shifting bands of color and a constant hypnotic motion. As you continue your relentless plunge deeper into Saturn's atmosphere, you'd quickly realize that you're not simply falling through air, you're actually traversing through a superdense fluid where the pressure would escalate dramatically, reaching levels hundreds of thousands of times greater than that at sea level. On Earth, the increasing pressure would immediately begin to compress your body, squeezing your tissues and organs with immense force, and the surrounding gas molecules would relentlessly jostle against you, creating a sensation of being utterly crushed, a truly terrifying and overwhelmingly physical experience. Considering the immense gravitational pull of Saturn, which is approximately 9 times stronger than Earth's, you'd experience a constant, accelerating force pulling you relentlessly towards the planet's center, making any attempt to move or resist entirely futile, and creating a feeling of being trapped within an inescapable downward spiral. Now let's consider the rings of Saturn. These aren't solid, continuous structures, but rather vast collections of countless icy particles ranging in size from minuscule grains of dust to enormous chunks the size of houses, each orbiting the planet at different distances and speeds, offering a spectacular but incredibly hazardous spectacle as you fall through them. As you're propelled through this chaotic field of icy debris, you'd encounter a constant barrage of impacts, with smaller particles striking you with tremendous force, and larger fragments potentially causing devastating damage, creating a truly brutal and unrelenting assault on your physical form. The temperature within Saturn's atmosphere would plummet dramatically as you descend, decreasing from a relatively mild temperature near the cloud tops to an incredibly frigid 180 degrees Celsius, 292 degrees Fahrenheit at the planet's core, a stark contrast to the warmth you might be accustomed to on Earth. Maintaining any semblance of physical integrity would become increasingly difficult as you were subjected to this extreme cold, causing your body fluids to freeze rapidly and potentially leading to catastrophic tissue damage and ultimately a complete cessation of bodily functions. The swirling, turbulent storms that perpetually rage across Saturn's atmosphere, including the iconic Great White Spot, would relentlessly buffet you, creating enormous pressure waves and violent updrafts that would further disrupt your movement and threaten to tear you apart. Scientists believe that Saturn possesses a relatively small, dense core composed primarily of rock and metal, hidden deep beneath the layers of atmosphere, and if you somehow managed to reach this core, the crushing pressure and extreme temperatures would instantly obliterate you, reducing your body to an unrecognizable molecular smear. Thinking about the composition of Saturn, primarily consisting of hydrogen and helium, reveals that these elements don't behave like the familiar gases we experience on Earth, behaving instead as a superdense fluid with properties that defy our everyday understanding of physics. The sheer scale of Saturn, it's 208 times larger than Earth in terms of volume, means that the gravitational forces at play are exponentially greater, creating a truly staggering and overwhelming environment to contemplate, emphasizing the limitations of human perception and survival. Thus, consider the concept of time dilation, a well-established principle of Einstein's theory of relativity, which dictates that time passes differently for observers in different gravitational fields. Because you're experiencing such immense gravitational forces, time would likely slow down for you relative to observers back on Earth, an unsettling consequence of your extreme descent. Given the limitations of human physiology and the utterly hostile conditions within Saturn's atmosphere, survival for even a few seconds would be an extraordinary feat, highlighting the remarkable resilience of life as we know it on Earth and the extreme fragility of our bodies when confronted with such unimaginable forces. The possibility of encountering exotic forms of matter or energy within Saturn's depths, perhaps even interacting with the planet's magnetic field, offers a tantalizing glimpse into the unknown wonders and potential dangers lurking within this colossal world, stimulating our curiosity and prompting us to explore the fundamental nature of the universe. Ultimately, the experience of falling into Saturn would undoubtedly be a catastrophic and utterly transformative one, representing the ultimate test of human endurance and a profound demonstration of the immense power and complexity of the cosmos, leaving us with a humbling and awe-inspiring appreciation for the delicate balance that sustains life on our planet. But it's fascinating to contemplate how our familiar laws of physics might warp and change in such an extreme environment, and perhaps this exercise highlights the importance of continued scientific exploration and discovery, pushing the boundaries of our knowledge and understanding of the universe we inhabit. Wouldn't you agree that the very thought of such a descent is a uniquely powerful illustration of just how fragile and precious our existence is, prompting us to appreciate the remarkable circumstances that have allowed life to flourish on Earth?